Hey guys, coming at you today with part 3 of my trial keto wedding cake. Today we get to cover, stack, and decorate. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. My name's Alicia and I'm a sous chef with a sweet tooth. And here we make delicious pastries, many from my time as a pastry chef. And my goal is to make the best keto desserts possible. So if you enjoy these recipes, please consider hitting the subscribe button, hitting the bell icon so you don't miss a video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. It all helps my channel grow and to bring you new keto desserts every Saturday. Today, we finally get to finish my keto wedding cake. If you've been following along, you know there's been a lot of bumps in the road, and I remade all my layers of wedding cake. I did some more trial testing. It turned out I need like over a pound of ganache, a pound of buttercream, a pound and a half of my peanut butter mousse. I still need to figure out my second layer. It's not as tall as my first layer because I did a 9-inch and my recipe's for an 8-inch. So I still got to tweak that. So it looks kind of weird in the middle because it's going to be short and the tall on the bottom and top. But I came pretty close to exactly what I need to do my final wedding cake. And it's only a month and 10 days away. It's crazy. March 20th, I am getting married and this needs to be perfect. So we're going to do some more testing today on fondant and decorating. I did shoot this already once and I tested some decorating, but the fondant just wasn't working out. So I perfected it and now we get to cover my 3 layers of wedding cake. So I made another batch of white fondant last night, so I have to finish this up because I realized when I was doing testing on my fondant, I was kind of seeing how much of a cake I could cover with one batch. And I can pretty much only do one 9-inch round cake with one batch of fondant. So I had to make another batch of white because I want to cover my bottom layer in white. This is the 4-layer cake that's going on the bottom. So it's even higher than the last one you guys saw. And it's covered in a thicker layer of ganache because I realized when we went and ate that one, if you don't eat the fondant, you need more frosting. So I have that one done, but I'm going to need 2 batches of white fondant to cover this guy. And I don't even know if my work surface is big enough to roll it out, big enough to cover this. We'll see. But I followed my white fondant recipe exactly. I just got to do the final adding to make sure it rolls out nicely. I already had this sitting out, but I also microwaved it for 15 seconds. Just to get it pliable so that I can start kneading it. And yes, I have a bandage on my wrist because all this kneading and testing I've been doing has been taking a toll on my wrist. And it's kind of hurt me in the last 10 years or so being in this business. But it only gets really bad when I overwork it, and I've been working it pretty hard. Need a little extra support today. This is almost good. I think it just might need a tiny bit more powdered sweetener just to get it to come together a little bit more. So I've been using Indigo Nilly's takeaway on my scale to figure out how much powdered sweetener I've been using for my fondants and such. It's been working pretty good, but it seems that my scale tends to I don't know. It says different numbers and then it'll turn off on me randomly. So I'm just kneading a little bit more sugar into this to get it more dough-like. You really got to work this stuff. It's almost there. The biggest thing with fondant is you don't want to add too much sweetener because it'll get too tough. That's what happened when I went to shoot my last final video. It was too stiff and I could not roll it out thin. It was so thick. I literally tried for an hour to get it to roll out and it never got thin enough. So that's why I'm reshooting, because that was a lot of footage to just be it didn't work. It's getting to be more dough-like. If you don't add enough sweetener, it's almost too elastic and it'll fall apart on you. Like you can see it's like kind of pulling apart. I think it needs a little bit more sweetener in there. I'm just gonna keep working this until it's all good to go, and then I gotta get my other white worked so that it's gonna be able to roll out with this one. Okay, on to fondanting our first layer. This is my other fondant. I nuked it for 10 seconds, kneaded it a little bit, 10 more seconds, kneaded it, and 10 more seconds. And it's nice and soft now, and I added some powdered sweetener until it was more dough-like. So we're gonna have to mix it with this guy. This is gonna be a workout. I am going to be sore after this. I think I'm gonna nuke this for 10 seconds too, because it's already not super soft anymore after we were playing with it for so long. You want them nice and pliable. I'm gonna need this whole surface. I have to do it like this big. I gotta try to do it quick too, so it doesn't cool too much, because it's definitely a lot easier when it's warm. Okay, time to put these guys together. Not get all stuck. This is a big ball of fondant. Remind me why I did this again. I'm gonna get my workout in today. That's for sure. You want a nice, smooth dough to work with. This is a big ball of fondant. Hopefully this works. I might have to get up on a stool and get on top of here. Need like an extra large rolling pin. Maybe I'll put the blooper in of what this was like last time, because this is 100 times easier than the last time I rolled out my fondant for my layer. It's crazy. I don't know if this is gonna be big enough or not. Hoping I'm not stuck. Doesn't seem like I am. I'd rather go bigger than I need than less than I need. I really need to start working out. I told myself I was gonna work out before the wedding to tone up, and I never did. Cut off all this extra thick stuff here. This is really thick over here. Cut off down here too, because we're really thick. Seems pretty thin. Now, is it big enough to cover the cake, is the question. We're gonna be cutting it close. Definitely still pretty thick over there. Try not to rip it. Work with fondant, you gotta be careful you don't rip it. Okay. I think that's as far as we're gonna go. It's already getting see-through, so moment of truth here. I'd like to use the other side if I can. I'm gonna move the camera down so I can hopefully get this in there. Okay, let's do this. Nope. There. Oh, so close. I had my cake sitting out for a little while, just so that the ganache was a little bit soft, so it'll stick to it. I have a tool for this. Where is it? Okay, this is a fondant smoother. It's supposed to smooth down the sides. Having a little bit of crackage. Gotta cut fondant off. It's too long. Still not sticking. What can I stick there? Putting water on it work? Putting water works. A little bit. Should probably fondant it right after you put your frosting on, but this would have been a freaking long video. Cut off excess. Trying to think outside the box here. Okay, so I had some ganache in my refrigerator, so I just painted some on underneath and stuck it down. We're gonna be decorating this whole cake with roses and everything, so it's not that big a deal if it gets a little messy. When you have these pleats, you can go and cut them. That. Pinch them together. Paint it with water. And you smooth it out. Let's put some at the bottom because I'm putting a border around this whole thing. I'm gonna have chocolate dots all over my cake. And you do the same thing with anything that cracks up here. You just add a little bit of water and smooth it out. I do want to reuse this white fondant, so I'm trying to save some of it. What this tool is good for. Dripping chocolate. Okay, well, you get the idea. I'll come back when all this is done and we'll smooth it all out and we'll get on to covering the next layer in red fondant. Okay, well, I learned two things today for my final wedding cake. One, I need to base frost in a layer of whipped ganache before I even attempt to do the fondant covering. Second, I need to roll it thinner still. So I had this much excess still, so maybe I should just try one ball of white fondant for my final wedding cake, because that's almost a whole ball and I could have went thinner on this. It's not pretty, but it's just a test, so I'm learning. I said I haven't done much fondant work because as soon as I got out of pastry school, I came to work in Buffalo, New York, and there was no pastry jobs. I literally remember MapQuest, where you had to like print out all the directions. I had like 20 bakeries from here to here to here to here on MapQuest pages to go to apply for jobs, and no one was hiring. So I had a few pastry jobs out of school that were awesome, but they're all closed now. Pastry places just aren't that big a deal in not big cities. So I never got to do a lot of fondant work. I did a lot of cake frosting and stuff like that, but fondanting was not something I ever really did too much of. I know there's a pastry chef that fondants cake that watches my channel, so this is kind of embarrassing. If you want to criticize me below, just be gentle. Let me know what I could do differently. If this fondant isn't acting like regular fondant, which I have a feeling that might be the case, because I have used regular fondant before and it doesn't seem as pliable and stretchy, and I'm not sure if I can fix that or if it's just because of our keto sweeteners. But let me know in the comments below if there's anything you see that I could do differently besides what I already mentioned. We're gonna get on to the red fondanting, which I already did this once and it turned out decent, so I'm hoping that this one will too. This is gonna go in the fridge for now. Oh yeah, it's freaking heavy. But I couldn't get it down all the way in some spots still, so it's like all like wobbly. Okay, I did a little video watching and took a little break and fondanting a cake. So this is my red fondant. They said high humidity, use cornstarch, low humidity, powdered sugar. Right now our air is insanely dry, So powdered sugar it is. And I know how big to roll this because I watched the video and it said 9 inches and then 2.5 on each side. So that's 14 inches in diameter. My cake looked a lot prettier before I started messing with it with a spatula. But my buttercream is pretty soft, so whoop, and I just stick my finger in it. Psh. It should stick. They also said if it's too dry to mist it with water. I think my first fondant was definitely too thick, so I'll know for when I do my next cake. I start by kneading this and adding some powdered sugar because it looks like it's kind of cracking a little bit. They said to use fresh fondant, and this has been in my fridge for about a week. Yeah, and they're using pre-made fondant, not keto fondant. So they also said to add some vegetable shortening. I do have my coconut oil over there, so I might use that. If you want to find the video I watched, it's just the Wilton video. I want this nice and smooth. Right now it is not. It's not sticky, but it's a lot more gelatinized feeling than the white. It's another reason I think my first layer didn't drape like it was supposed to. Like, you should be able to stretch it around your cake and get most of the wrinkles out. See how it's like cracky on top? Don't want that. They said to put vegetable shortening if it was dry like. I wonder if I can just use butter. Guess we could try it. We did add butter to this at one point, so seems to be getting smoother. Gotta love YouTube. That helped, so I'm thinking maybe add more butter. Add a little bit more butter. I don't know if I need more butter or more powdered sugar. That looks like a pretty nice dough. Starting to stick to the surface, so let's roll it out. My rolling pin is 14 inches, so let's use that. She said 1/8 of an inch thick. I have to move my cake out of the way. Whoa, don't want that. Not doing a very good job doing a circle. Let's see, 14 inches that way, 14 inches that way. But are we an 1/8 of an inch thick is the question. I think we're gonna go with that. Take off some excess, just make it more round. Big enough. If you have too much excess, it'll weigh it down. So 14 inches by 14 inches. Problem is I don't have a big enough work surface to get this over there easily. I have to do more testing on this, like I said. I want it like that tall. So what she did, like that. So I can get closer here. Draped it over the cake. And I got it almost to the right place. So smooth this out first. And smooth around the edges with your hand. And then bring it down. Smooth it out. Meow. Kitty saying hi. So I almost got it centered. Not quite though. So I'm a little short on some of the areas. That's how it's supposed to work. I'm supposed to be able to stretch it and go down like that. This fondant is a lot more pliable than the white. So, I don't know. Maybe I have to rethink my white fondant recipe. or just roll it way thinner. Add more butter maybe. There you go. And then she took a pizza cutter. That one was a lot easier than the other one. So maybe just adding some butter to the white buttercream, white fondant would be the key. And then obviously having a wet surface to stick it onto. And save this red because for the top layer, I want to try marbling because I'm crazy. I'm going to put a border around this, so it doesn't matter really how the edges look as long as we're together. Just fixing the little bit of cracks up here. She said to just rub butter over it, so I might try that, but I'm going to put this in the fridge for now and we'll get on to covering the third layer. Okay, I added a bunch of butter to my white fondant. I watched a bunch of videos on this. So take 2 logs of colored fondant and you're supposed to be able to twist them together, which mine isn't twisting like theirs, of course. I'll make it smoother. And then you go like this and you twist some more. It's gonna look like a candy cane. Hopefully these stick together. Still not quite the same consistency. And you go to like this and you knead a little bit. See how this turns out. Said experimenting. So I need this to be 15 inches. Let's roll it out. Looking kind of cool. There's no going back from this because that's all the red fondant I had. Can't redo it. No stickage. Might not have been enough fondant. Started breaking. Now it seems too soft. I'm worried about picking it up. Guess we'll just save it to the end and hope we're not stuck. I think we're gonna be. Like that. Apparently I made my fondant too soft by adding that butter. Too soft? More powdered sugar. Squeezing together pretty good, so that's good. Hopefully we can save this. Looks pretty cool. Okay. Well, kind of want to see what the other side looks like because you can like, there might be different patterns. This might be a little risky though. Take some of the excess off. It's thick at the end. Can't tell which side I like better. Yes, I like that side. We're gonna go with it. Hopefully, we can get all this powder off. Put my cake back up here. Gonna be some pasting things together here. No. Well, that was a disaster. Well, I'm going to try to get this fixed up and meet you back here to stack these cakes, make it look like a wedding cake. Okay, so I got it semi looking okay, but that layer has to chill because it is way too soft right now. So we're gonna get on to stacking these cakes. We'll stack the first and second layer together, and then if it's ready, we'll stack the third layer. And then we go on to decorating. This cake is nice and solid now, at least. This cake is pretty solid also. So, to stack a wedding cake, let's do this. Okay, this is my 9-inch. So, normally I would use a cake round, but I don't have any 9-inch cake rounds. So, make sure this is in the center. And then we're just going to do little marks underneath the pan so that we know kind of where to place our supports. You can see them here. Now, either you can use dowels, or I bought these for my friend's wedding cake that I just did. Well, not just did, last summer. You measure kind of where the top is. You want them sunken in a little bit more than poking out. So, right there. These ones are a lot harder to cut than wooden dowels, I feel like. I don't remember how I did it last time for her cake, but it is not easy. Oh, you just snap it. That's cool. Okay, and then use that as a guide for your next one. Go off. Make sure you're still on the right track. I need one more. I'm going to put 4 supports in this one. Make sure they're around the same size. Okay. Now where our marks are, we want to go in from there. Push it down. There you go. Now take your other layer and put it on those marks. Probably should have some kind of frosting or something to put down. I don't think this thing through. You want something to stick it. Luckily, I always have ganache on hand. Hopefully, once that chills, it won't go anywhere. You see, I did like a black rope of fondant down here. I'm going to do a black rope up top, too. And now you know why wedding cakes cost thousands of dollars. Before we do that, we'll mark this guy. Last one's too short. Insert these guys. Probably could have just went with 3 on this one, but better safe than sorry. One's a little too high. Probably should shorten those a little bit. What we use in the restaurant business when we're cutting a cake. There, that's better. Little pieces of plastic my cats are going to be playing with. And this one, still a little too long. There we go. Okay, now we're going to make a rope to go around the bottom of that. Just take some of my black fondant. Basically just have the black fondant to decorate. I debated covering one in black, but I didn't. 10 seconds in the microwave. Don't go over because it will melt. That little amount, I only did 9 seconds. Let's add some butter to this guy. Learn my lesson. Don't add too much butter. Today is just full of lessons. Kind of hard to knead this little amount, so I just like squish it in my hand. Take half of this at a time. Make a rope. Ooh. Not quite ready yet, I guess. It's so hard to know. Are you supposed to add more powdered sugar or more butter? And it's cracking, so I feel like butter, right? Too sticky yet. But it's not staying together, so I feel like powdered sugar. I don't know. Just gotta have the right balance. Still coming apart. The bottom rope worked fine. This is why I do a bunch of testing before I make a video. For the wedding cake I did in school, I did a bunch of pearls, which is a little bit more tedious than a rope. Still need to get the black fondant smoother, but I'm gonna do for now. That's a smarter thing to do, would be to do small pieces at a time. Jump into the big guy. And that rope is smoother. So yeah, just add more powdered sugar, I guess. So if you didn't make the rope long enough, go around like that. My hands are all slippery. Cut here. And you connect them. Squeeze them together with this guy. Should be sticking this down too with water. Okay, so there's that. Now to fix my top layer and get it up here. Okay, I got the top layer fixed as much as I can. I'm gonna start decorating my bottom 2 layers because we gotta move on. I gotta get dinner going soon. So I bought all this edible glitter, which I'm sure isn't very healthy either, but I wanted to add some sparkle to my wedding cake. So I got yellow here. We have like fall colors. I really wish I had silver. I bought an 8-pack. I feel like bronze would look better. I don't like the burgundy. The burgundy looks more like rose gold. So, I don't know. Let's try purple. Could use the black and make it almost look like birch. I would need to pull up a reference picture though. Our theme is like fall woods. Or I could do bronze too. I got purple all over the black down here. Reference pictures are always your friend when you're trying to create something. You can also add this to a tiny bit of water. Okay, my memory card was full there, so don't know where I left off. But, I don't know, doing kind of a birch look, I guess. But I need reference pictures. What else can we do? I'm supposed to put the edible dust in alcohol. How much in this bottle? Whoop. Tiny bit. I was also thinking about doing just intricate designs, like a pattern. I just don't know what I want to do. I cannot picture my wedding cake for some reason. Don't know. I just want a bunch of flowers. but that's gonna take me a while. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't want something that takes like too long to paint. Like, I am a painter. I have painted many of paintings, but I really want to spend that much time painting my wedding cake. Simple's better, right? Do some browns down on the black. Well, let's put in our 2 roses we have. We also dust this guy with powder. And I didn't just buy these for my cake either. I bought them for my favors too. I made soap. Yeah, might need to go under the board. I do have green luster dust too. This one looks almost turquoise. It looks more turquoise than dark green. Maybe I won't recommend these if you're looking for a specific color, because I wanted burgundy and did not get burgundy. I wanted forest green, and it's kind of turquoise. And put our 1 red rose that's falling apart. Where should we stick them? Definitely need some smaller roses. Fill in. I'm really bummed about that burgundy color because I really wanted burgundy dust. We need to put our top on. Let's do that. It's definitely marble looking. I'm going to put a border around here and we'll be back for the finished product. Okay, well, I am completely spent on this wedding cake. I love how it looks in the video, the marbling. In person, it doesn't look the best, but oh well. I guess we should probably cut into this. Should we cut the top layer? It has mousse, strawberry jam, white cake, and chocolate cake. Let's see it. Now, this is the cake that my boyfriend and I are sharing on our first anniversary. So this is the one that is the bottom layer, middle layer put together. And normally we would take the top off the cake. We take each layer off and cut it individually, but I'll save that for later. I didn't stick the top layer down, but this is how we cut a wedding cake. You cut around here, and then the center you cut into like 4. On the bottom one, you do like 3 times around. This is very awkward to cut at this angle. I don't have a plate to put it on. Ooh. I got the good layer of peanut butter in there. I wanted the same size as my cake layer, and I pretty much succeeded. Might need a fork to try it. I'm gonna go right in the center. Then the middle layer has peanut butter and strawberry jam. That's delicious. Tastes like a peanut butter and jelly in cake form. So good. I've been eating all day. So good. There's the inside of my cake. Something we won't see again until our first anniversary. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed coming along on this journey with me. It was a journey, and I learned a lot. I hopefully know exactly what I'm going to do, or close to what I'm going to do for my actual keto wedding cake. I do love this marbling technique, but I'm definitely going to have to tweak my fondants to make it work right. But I learned a lot. Hope you guys learned some things from these videos. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll be back with many more keto dessert recipes. Bye, guys.